I've had a rather expensive week this week, and I'll tell you all about it in a little while. Well, hello, this is Old Man Tony here again. It's nice to be back. It's a fine evening for a ride. We've got 19 degrees Celsius, so I think that's about 68-ish Fahrenheit, so not a bad temperature for a ride. And despite having an expensive week, I'm feeling pretty good. Now, what's going on with this expensive week? Well, the first thing that went wrong was I was driving to the beach with my wife and the grandchildren and my daughter in the car, and we came round a corner, a bit like this one here, and what did we meet but a big front loader excavator thing with an extra wide bucket on. Luckily I had enough about me that I managed to squeeze past it, but in doing so I managed to curb one of my front wheels, blew out the tyre, split in the side, and unfortunately the alloy was damaged as well. So that was a front tyre and the wheel that was needed. So the best part of £500 later I managed to get it repaired. Unfortunately, the car I have doesn't come with a spare wheel, which seems to be becoming a bit of a norm these days, and a bit of an annoying bugbear. And because of the split, the repair kit that came with the car was never going to seal up that, so I had to call out roadside assistance, and because I had children, small children in the car, they came out quite quickly, and within 20 minutes it came along with a temporary wheel, one of those strange narrow small wheel things that you can put on, space saver type wheels or whatever. Wouldn't fit on the front of the car, so we had to fit it to the back and put the rear tyre on the, or the rear wheel on the front, and fit it there, which meant I could drive home again. And while I got it fixed, while I started to get it sorted out, my daughter and my wife and the two grandchildren went onto the beach. So not everything was lost. But the strange thing is, because it was a different sized wheel and probably didn't have a magnetic sensor or something built into it, or whatever it is they use for wheel sensors these days, it set all the electronics related to wheel speed off on the car. So the automatic handbrake, rollback, traction control, ABS, everything was disabled. But the car still drove okay, and the brakes did work, but I was limited to 50 by the AA man who was following me home. Just for those American listeners, the AA is not Alcoholics Anonymous, it's your equivalent to the AAA. Ours is just the Automobile Association, and yours is the Automobile Association of America, I think. So anyway, we got home, got it sorted out, and best part of £500 later, we're back on the road. And luckily I didn't have to have all the codes reset or anything on the car. As soon as I put the proper size wheel on again and drove the car, all those error messages disappeared. And then the wife reminded me that the horn wasn't working on her car. And I also had noticed when I was driving it to go and get the wheel sorted that the airbag fault light kept flashing on and off. Using my diagnostic skills, I thought there's only one thing it could be. It's the, what some people call the clock spring cable, or the airbag squib cable, or it sits inside the steering wheel. It's like a ribbon cable that wraps around and unwraps as you turn the wheel and keeps anything wheel mounted connected. And once I'd pulled the steering wheel off and everything, sure enough, that was the problem. the cable had got a kink in at some point and worked its way and broken all the conductors in there. So all the copper conductors, the three, two for the airbag and one for the horn, were all broken. So I set about trying to find another one, and it's one of those things that you can't buy separately. So if you want a new one, you have to buy all the steering wheel mounted controls together. So the flasher stalk, the wiper stalk, all the connectors and everything else, which from the main dealer was going to cost me something like £300. But luckily I did manage to source one from a breaker's yard, so for £40 I've got a second-hand one which is going to be delivered later this week, and hopefully that will be in full working order. Otherwise I'll be sending it back and trying to get my money back, but just a bit of an expensive week. What I'd like to do is tell me about your expensive weeks that you've had with unexpected expenses. Put those in the comments down below. Could have been a disaster, but it just turned out to be an expensive mess. So if you made it this far, thanks very much for listening and watching too. Don't forget, put your comments down below. And this has been Old Man Tony. Goodbye.